Hey guys, it's PPN with MG and some of the crew here. So we have Israel power grid hit by severe cyber attack, and they've been talking about cyber attacks now for a while, for a good while. They're saying that our system's not so cyber attack proof, so it could happen here. Well, it happened there, and they had said that they're still having issues with their computers working right. They're trying to hash it out. People are without electricity. Sometimes this shit could go, what, a week, couple weeks, maybe a month, who knows? But what kind of things do you have to think about when that happens? First off, no electricity. So what are you going to need? You're going to need make sure that you're prepared for, so that you can survive however the duration will be. You're going to need food. You're going to need water, because without electricity you can't pump your well can't pump, or your city water is going to be turned off. You can't get water at your tap or whatever. So you're going to have a backup supply of water, backup supply of food, backup supply of candles or batteries and flashlights. They have lanterns now that you can run off of oil. Also, if you're down and out and you really need to get some kind of light at night, if you have kids, crayons, the big fat ones, they'll burn for one crayon. Big fat one will burn 30 minutes. So a lot of people don't know that, but they're wax, so they're going to burn. So that's an idea. Cooking. How are you going to cook that food? Because now if you have an electric range or even a gas range, you no longer have electricity to make it happen. So you're going to either have to have a camp stove or a grill out back that takes, you could use wood or whatever to cook on the, use your grill top. You have to be inventive when it comes to these kind of things. And how do you
Now,
going to...
you have to be careful if you cook outdoors because other people would smell it and kind of descend upon your house.
So how are you going to cook inside your house so that you can eliminate that fear without having anything to be able to cook it with or on, or any electricity that way? What's your suggestion?
Well, if you get like I showed before with the small firebox and cooking tabs, and then set it up on top of your stovetop where you have a vent right there.
Okay, well, you got a vent. That means that smell's still going to go through that vent. Number one. Number two, say
True.
you have a family of 5. You're going to cook a meal for a family of 5 on that little camp stove?
Well, you make sure you have food that you don't have to cook.
Like what?
MREs.
Okay, and they are available to the public. You can Google MREs to the public. But I think you still have to heat them up.
No, it's your choice to heat them up.
Do you know how unappetizing those things are?
I can't say I do.
Oh, yeah. They're nasty. You
This,
have ration bars, but ration bars are only going to last so long. You have a family of 5 or 4 or even 3. The ration bars aren't going to hold you. They're not super nutritious either. They're just a filler.
Right.
So what if you're
besides,
out? What if you're out for weeks or a couple months?
you would need fire any way you look at it because you would still need to purify water. The easiest way to purify it is with heat. It kills all the organisms. Because if you rely on your water filter to do that, you're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to clog it really fast. It's not going to work as well.
Well, you have water purifying tabs. The tablet combination that you can get. I have tablets and I have a filter and I've got a Life Straw and a Sawyer. So, but people, if you get ponies, you can get cases of water for those situations. Like we have a bunch of pallets downstairs stored up. I know your wife does the same thing. I've seen it in a picture.
Oh, yes.
Yet you're sitting there sucking on a pop when you could be drinking a water.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
You
Okay,
only
I'll
live
cut that part
once.
out. Yeah, well, no. You live days. You only die one time. It's a true fact.
That being healthy is at only the slowest rate at which one can die. naturally.
But you
Yep.
live for days and you only die once. Bottom line is, you need a way to be able to either purify your water or have bottled water on hand extra. Same thing with food, and as minimal as cooking as possible. And if you have to cook outside, even if you don't have to cook outside, you still got to flush your toilet. How are you going to flush your toilet? How are you going to go to the bathroom? There's no electricity. You get one flush out of that puppy when the lights go out. That's it, because that's what's water's in the tank. Then you know what I would do in that instance? Depending on the legalities of your town or state or our county, if you're allowed to collect rainwater, use that rainwater in buckets to dump in your toilet to flush your toilet. I did that before myself when my lights were out. Okay? That's just one idea. Also, okay, we're talking urban setting here. This is basically how urban setting would be. This isn't something if you were in the country, because I would be totally different situation.
Right.
I am in an urban setting, and I have a major river 3 blocks from me.
Okay, well then you have an opportunity to go down to that river and get water right along with the rest of everybody else in your town. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
You're
I
not
have
going to
other
be the
tools for that.
Yeah, but you're not going to be the only person getting water from that river. You're going to have the entire town down there scrambling for water, whether it be to flush their toilet, to wash their laundry, or to wash their ass. Either way, they're all going to be down in that river. So now you're coming up to the point where you're going to need to protect yourself, your family, and your personal belongings. So now you got to defend yourself, your family, your belongings, and all that good happy horse shit. So now that you have that, now you have to worry about firearms or some kind of self-protection. If you don't have firearms, or you're going to have to make yourself some stick shanks, you know, or something to protect yourself and defend yourself. Again, this is a urban setting format, not the country. That would be a totally different situation. And I much rather be caught in the country than in the urban area. Sorry, just my feelings about it.
No,
But
I agree.
I grew up in the country, so I'm pretty good with that. The city, I'm not a city girl, never was. It's hard for me to get, be in that urban area. But in that instance, you're going to need food and water and something for light, something for heat, depending on the season. It might be winter, it might be summer, so you have to think about something to keep you warm. All these things are preps. You got to be prepared for such instances as the lights going out. Another good something that would give you some thought more on a first hand, a lot of people, if they see it, they can associate with it more than just being taught this kind of stuff or read it somewhere or whatever. There's that video on YouTube, American Blackout. We can put that link down below. You guys watch it. It's a little long, but you know what? It is exactly what we're talking about right now, and it gives you a walkthrough scenario. Watch it with your entire family, because that's how you're going to be able to convey the seriousness of why it's important to prep.
And I'm just saying, after watching that, that's why I never will take an elevator if I can avoid it.
Exactly, because you get stuck and you
Yep.
ain't getting out, and you see what happened to those guys. I
Mhm.
mean, there's a lot of scenarios. There's women that's out there by themselves. There's single parent, single people that live in these apartments or whatever. I mean, their safety is a big issue. Aside from the food and the water, everyone has gotten so comfortable with our amenities that they haven't even considered what it would be like with them gone.
Yep.
And it's something that you have to think about. I mean, one guy his mom was a nurse and had to go stay at the hospital. He was home alone all this time with intruders or whatever. He had to figure out what he had to do to protect himself and keep himself safe and try to keep people out of his space. So that movie really sets it off exactly what to prepare and expect. And people do some crazy stuff when they're desperate. Your neighbor might be your best friend right now, best friend in the whole world, but if they're desperate and starving, they're not going to be your best friend anymore. They're going to want what you got. So they'll do whatever they can to take what you got. Food, clothes, whatever, okay? They're no longer your friend. Something to think about, and yes, it can happen here in the States. It truly can. remember, folks, it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark, so prepare today to survive tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Night.